Awesome, guys. Awesome. Welcome to our Tuesday executive leadership training calls. Thank you guys for being on. Today's call is going to be all about booking appointments and having a schedule and a system set up to do that. So this ties into, of course, prospecting, which we talk about a lot, and increasing connections and all the different topics that we've been going over for most of the year. But I know the structure of like how to actually run a network marketing business is a big deal for people. And I get a lot of questions from the team about scheduling and about apps and about how to book appointments. So I'm just going to share with you guys some strategies and tips that are working really, really well for me in terms of booking appointments and being consistent. So there's a couple things, and if you're taking notes, write these 3 things down. These are the top 3 things that you want to keep in your mind all the time when running a business. Is, are you organized? Number 1. 2, are you consistent? And 3, do you have systems to keep all those things in place? Because life is busy and life is chaotic, and it will happen to you where you're going to feel out of control with your business. And if you have a lot of leads coming in and you don't have a structure set up yet to maintain and manage that, then it's not going to last long, or you're just not going to attract it at all. So if you're at the place in your business where you're like, well, I don't have anyone showing up, I would ask you, do you have a system set up for the people to come in already? So it's kind of a mindset of create it and they will come, field the dreams, build it and they will come. It's totally true. So these are structures that I've had in place for a couple years now. So even before, we started doing these executive leadership trainings, I've kind of troubleshooted a lot of different systems that have worked for some leaders over the years and other people and all that stuff. So you're going to find a groove that works for you. But I will tell you something, you cannot just wing it in terms of your appointments. If you're just scribbling people's names down on random pieces of paper, and you don't have a scheduling system, and you don't have a lead monitoring system in terms of where your lead's coming from, you're going to get overwhelmed super fast. And then when you start to expand your list and people start coming to you and you have a lot of leads, you're not going to know what to do with them. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. So I wanted to kind of give you some structure and some tips today. So I use a system called Schedule Once, which is, I pay, I think, $5 a month for it. You're able to add multiple people on there. Like Emily's on mine now. So when I book an appointment with someone, it goes also to my phone and to Emily's phone and to our Google calendars so that we have it. The person gets an email, and they also get an email before our appointment time, letting them know that we have an appointment time. So you can set your call schedule. So I have a certain call schedule that's open. So when people go onto my link to request an appointment to talk to me, they have to pick a day that I have open. So you're not just winging it when you're, in the car taking your kids to ballet or soccer, and then your kids are getting frustrated because you're constantly taking phone calls, or you're, answering your phone on a date with your husband. You don't want to do that. Trust me, I've done all of that. I've made all of those mistakes along the way, and it doesn't work well for anyone. So if you structure your time with some sort of app, now you don't have to use Schedule Once, but I encourage you to look into some different scheduling appointment apps and find what works best for you. And you might have to try a couple different ones before you find one that works. I like Schedule Once because I just feel like it's quick and easy, and I like the structure of it. Okay. So I like to book my appointments. Oops. Oh no, hold on. Where did I go? My back. Okay. Sorry. I touched something on my screen. I like to book my appointments 15 minutes back to back. I do tell people when they're going to book a call with me, I book my appointments back to back. We're going to set up a short call. I let them know that it's going to be short. I rarely ever stay on the phone with someone longer than 15 minutes, unless it's a business training call, unless it's a special, health call that I'm doing for someone specifically that's dealing with an issue. Other than that, prospecting calls, sign-up calls, and other coaching calls never take me longer than 15 minutes. That's why I'm so consistent with sharing with you guys, work in 15-minute time blocks, because you can get a ton done. So Bo's napping right now. I get 2 hours a day to work on my business where I'm uninterrupted with children. 2 hours. That's not that long, and that can go real fast if I get sidetracked doing laundry or whatever. So 2 hours. So I book back to back 15-minute calls, whether it's a follow-up, whether it's an account walkthrough, whether it's a new sign-up call. So just know that as your team grows, you'll have to get more structured with your timing. But if you set yourself in that mindset now, and you might be thinking, well, oh my gosh, I don't have that many people calling me, Britt. Well, if your mindset is not in alignment with what you're going to create, then those people are never going to show up. So get organized now, get your system now, be consistent now, so that when the people start flooding in, you're not overwhelmed by it and you have a system to control it. Okay. So figuring out a scheduling system for your app. Now, booking appointments. A lot of times people will tell me, well, I'm not getting any leads. I'm sending people all sorts of information, but I'm not signing anybody up. And this goes back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, was actually setting the appointments. Professionals set appointments. Amateurs just send links, right? So we want to step into that pro category. Go pro is exactly what Eric Worre talks about in his trainings, is becoming a professional network marketer. That means you are a professional in your industry. You set appointments. For those of you that are on the line that have other businesses, would you ever allow someone to just walk in and just like wing it with your time? Like, no, you would set an appointment. If you're a realtor, you don't just have people, oh, okay, I'm just going to go show this random person a house today. Like, you have an appointment, right? And you also don't just say you're at a networking event and you are a realtor, or you're an attorney, or you're a trainer, or you are an esthetician. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you have another sort of business, like imagine if you're at a networking event and you just start blabbing to people what you're doing, but there's no appointment set. So the minute someone is interested in what you're doing, the best thing to say when you're in a social situation, if the appointment is not set already, is, I would love to tell you more about this and find out more about your health goals. This is not the time. So let's set an appointment this week. What are 2 days and times that work best for you to connect? I say that constantly. Don't I, Em? Do you see me say that a lot? What are 2 days and times that work best for you to connect this week? Question mark. So this can be done in text message. This can be done in Messenger.
And not only does that make it professional, but they take her seriously, because they're like, oh, she has things to do. She needs to schedule this. She's not all over me like, blah, this is what I, want to sell you. So I don't know. It feels much more professional that way, in my opinion.
Right. And you see it. How many more appointments do I book in that setting, right? Constant. It's constant. Boom, boom. They're constantly coming in. I'm constantly booking them. So the other thing with appointments is be mindful of your time. You have value to give. And will you help Leslie? She can't get back on. She's in the group chat. It's coming up on my phone. Maybe just text her, see if I'm not sure what's happening. Thank you. So be respectful of other people's time and be respectful of your time. Don't get on the phone and blab to them for 40 minutes about how amazing Isogenics is. Like, it's too long, you guys. Like, so if you're sending videos and stuff, videos are powerful. Videos work in the group. You see me add a lot of people to the health group and I tag them in videos. However, I only do that after I've booked an appointment with someone. I tag them in a video and I welcome them after they've already scheduled an appointment with me. So it's really important to know that you don't want to just be like sending random links to people. There's no accountability on their end, and there's no structure. So you want to set people up for success, and you also want to set yourself up for success. You have to take appointment setting seriously. If you were a doctor, a dentist, an attorney, you would never not set appointments. So if you want to be paid at that level in network marketing, you have to start getting comfortable with setting appointments and standing in your power when someone says, oh, what's this about? Blah, 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 blah. And it's not the right time to go, I would love to tell you more about this. Right now, I'm with my kids at a soccer game and it's not the right time, but I would love to set a 15-minute appointment with you. What are 2 dates and times that work for you this week to connect? I just said that to someone last week. She was asking me a million questions. I was like, I'm with my kids. I don't want to talk about this right now. And it's not fair to them. And it's also not fair to the person because they're not going to get their questions answered. So treat yourself like a professional. You'll start to get paid more like a professional. Okay. Second thing. So from your appointment setting book is, how do you track your time? Do you use a planner? Now, I put everything in my phone, but guess what, guys? If your phone dies or you have to get a new phone or which that all just happened to me, what happens to your life that's on your phone? So you also, I really highly recommend getting a tangible planner as well and writing things down in your tangible planner, because it's important, because then you have it in 2 places, and you can link Google Calendars to a bunch of different stuff. So Google Calendars are easy to access outside of your phone calendars in case your phone, gets dropped in the toilet, or I don't know, whatever might happen in your life. You just never know. We're very dependent on technology, but then when technology is not there to support us, it's very stressful. So have a backup. So I'll show you guys a sample of like, this is just like, you know, a page in my thing, but you can see like daily, there's calls, there's, you know, team trainings, things all written down. Now, am I perfectly organized in my scheduler all the time? Like, no, there's little notes written on the sides and things like that and all that. But I have it always by my desk. And when I travel, I take it with me so that I'm not overbooking or you know, screwing up my schedule because I don't have my calendar in front of me. So setting appointments is huge. And knowing how to set the appointment, I think using the language of how do you stand in your power to set the appointment is a really big deal. So asking someone the question, like we've just gone over, but I'm going to keep repeating it because it's so important, is when do you have time? Or a lot of times now I just send the link. I go, this is the fastest way to get a hold of me. People are like, oh, I want to talk to you about this or that or whatever. This is the fastest way to get a hold of me. And I tell them my schedule books up very quickly. So please book a time at your earliest convenience from this scheduling link. And I send them my link. Now, there's two theories of thought with this, you guys. You are going to lose some people with sending them a link because you're putting the responsibility on their shoulders to set the appointment. So if you don't feel like you're quite there yet in your business where you can command that, then ask them what are 2 dates and times. So you can do it 2 different ways. Does that make sense? And sometimes, and Em's watched me do this, sometimes I'll fluctuate back and forth depending on what the person has said in the chat or whatever. And just kind of based on an intuitive feeling, like if I know they're really ready to get started and they don't want to like spend time going on a link to sign up and they're like, hey, when can you talk? I'll say, what are 2 days and times, or what are 2 times that work for you today? Like I'll try to get them on the phone today. So you want to be flexible with it. Does that make sense, everyone? Like, yes. You want to be flexible with it, but you want to have a couple pools that you pull from in terms of your language. So if someone's really reared up and ready to go, don't make them wait till next Tuesday to hop on your schedule link. Okay, that's silly. They're going to not be, when's the best time to get someone to sign up? When they're excited, right? When they're in that feeling of, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to change my life. Get them off Facebook onto the phone. So important to get them off Facebook. Don't spend time. I never spend time on Facebook chatting back and forth, answering people's questions back and forth on Facebook Messenger before they sign up. Nope, I don't do it. I get them on the phone because they have to commit to get on the phone. And if they don't want to get on the phone, sometimes people will say like, oh, I can't get people off of Facebook to get on the phone. Well, ask yourself if you have any fear around setting appointments, or if you have any reservation about getting on the phone with them. What are they going to ask me? What do I not know? What am I going to say? So if you're feeling that way, use an upline mentor to do a 3-way call with you. Super powerful, right? You don't have to like have all the answers. So if you're feeling uneasy about setting appointments because you don't know what to say once you get them on the phone, then schedule appointments with an upline leader that can assist you with a 3-way call. Okay. So let me see. Let me just look at my notes here and see what else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just creating the structure. So everyone on this call, the people that listen to these recordings and in our Inspired Leadership group, are people that have told me that they want to go to executive level. So that's great. That means a full-time residual income. That means running a full-time business from home. And all of those things take responsibility and all those things take time. So again, you want to set yourself up for success. Start to, open a business account, a business checking account, open a scheduling link. Like even if you don't have a huge team yet, it doesn't matter. You're setting the mindset of this is what I'm going to attract and create in my life. If you don't have the structure, how do you think it's ever going to happen? And if you keep waiting for it to happen first, here's what people do. They wait for it to happen. When it comes, when I make more money, when I have more people, when I have more leaders, when I have more time, then I'll do this. Like that's not the way it works. You have to do it first. You have to become that person first. And then you will by default start to attract the people in. It's the law. It's a law of the universe. It's law of attraction. It's just what it is. Because if you don't, and you get lucky and people start coming in, you're going to eventually detract them because they're going to try to book calls with you. You're going to be like, this is the most unorganized business person ever. And they're going to go sign up with someone else. They just will, guys. And you know what? When I was unorganized years ago, it happened to me. People were like, oh, you didn't get back to me, or oh, this happened, or I joined this other team, or whatever. Like they're just going to do something else. They're not going to wait around for you to figure it out. So figure it out now and make a structure and a system that's going to benefit you long-term, building this long-term. Okay. Yeah. I mean, how chaotic do you think it would be, Em, if I didn't have a scheduling system? Right? Like, you see it, it's crazy, right? So like, I'd love to hear Emily's thoughts, because she's gone from not knowing how to do a lot of this to then seeing it. And what have you learned just kind of watching the system from the inside out? Like, what could you share with the group?
I mean, literally, it's like Wizard of Oz, and then going behind and understanding behind the brain, like what, because I never knew you did all this. I didn't know. And like, you know, I was talking to Leslie, and I know Leslie needs a personal assistant. I mean, when you get to a certain level, I didn't know you were doing so many things. So I always wondered, like, man, how does she do it all? She's on every call, she's on everything, you know, she's always doing everything. But seeing how much energy and effort that takes, and if you weren't organized, and I mean, I was just there last week, and I saw, and you pulled out, what was it that you pulled out from your desk? And I'm like, you're like, oh yeah, I just organized all this, all my bill. Oh, it was all your bill.
Oh, it's a bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a house bill.
I'm like, oh, I just organized this, and look, this is from last year, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, like that stuff on my to-do. And so that just shows you where you're at and how organized things are and how it flows that way. And your inbox is just boom, boom. Like, I don't know, since I've been working with you, it's just, you're attracting a lot of leads. But two, I just never knew it was that intense and crazy. And I mean, that's what I imagine it is for all of the top leaders, you know. I mean, that's kind of coming to the next level and what it looks like, you know. Mm-hmm. Even looking at Emily Vavra's stuff, like on Instagram the other day, on her stories, she was like, just finished a workout, and then it was just got off a call with my thing, and then, you know, and all you see is her tackling these things. And she even said something that I've heard you say, if I'm not doing something income producing, I feel like I'm not, she said something like she feels like she's not being successful in that moment, or it was a word like that. And you said the same thing, and I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, you have to have that fire if you want to create those results. So
it's true. And thanks, Em, for sharing that. So for some people that are new, that might sound overwhelming. Here's the thing. With structure brings freedom. With a schedule brings freedom, because if you're in overwhelm before you get started, if you're in overwhelm and unorganization before your team even grows, you will set yourself up for disaster. And that's why I keep on training and teaching these things over and over again, because I don't want to see you guys start to have success and then you let it go because you're scared of success, because there's a huge responsibility that does come with running an organization and helping people. There's just a responsibility. And if you function in the energy of I am the CEO, so you don't rely on other people to do it for you. You don't wait for another leader to show up to do it, to do the training, to do and I keep talking about this on a lot of calls, because there's so many people that have their hands up like, yes, I want to build a full-time income. Awesome. Then start doing all the things necessary that we're talking about on these calls. Like, you go to Kathy Lamar's office, I could guarantee you she's just as organized as me, if not more. And she's an accountant, so she has probably, you know, her tax stuff way more in place than I do. Now, we're not going to talk about taxes, but on my phone, I have an app, a QuickBooks app, that tracks all my miles, all my expenses. It's linked to my business, credit card. It's linked to all this stuff, right? So you get to track all of that. And I rebelled against that. You guys, I'll share this really quick, Em, and then I want you to talk. I rebelled against the structure of success for probably 4 years. Okay. Cause I like to be free. And if you've done the color code, I was super yellow. I'm now red. I've transformed into a red, because you have to be more red to run a successful business than yellow. Yellow's like free fairy thinker. I just want to go on vacation and make all this money, and like, I want to party and I want it to be so fun and blah, 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 blah. That's all great, guys. It's good to have fun. You have to be serious in a business too. It can't just be fun, and then expect your income to increase. It's not going to happen. So you have to be structured. So I was committed like 5 years ago. I was like, I need to become more red. Like, I'm committed to becoming more red. So I figured it out. I started to get files. I started to clean out all the junk that was on my desk. I started to get rid of my debt. I started to organize my business and things. So it's a stepping process. So if you're sitting there going like, oh my gosh, like I need to do all of that, like don't get overwhelmed. Start with one thing. Start with a scheduling app. Master that. Get a planner. Master that. If your files are a disaster and you can't find bills and you can't find tax papers and all that stuff, you guys, tax season's coming up. Master that. Like pick one thing each week that you are going to tackle in your office. Okay. And if you don't have an office, I know that a lot of new people come on and they watch the recording. So if you don't have an office structure, you need to have some sort of space. It does not have to be fancy. Okay. I have built this business out of little, different corners of my house as we've moved things around. I've built it from, the side of my bedroom when we've been in construction. I built it from a hotel room. I've built it from this little, whatever I'm sitting in now. It's like a sunroom. So you find a space, make it your space. Don't let your children take over your space. Like my kids know if they come into my office setting and they leave a mess, they're going to be in trouble. Like they just know they have to respect mommy's office space. It's my one area in the house that they have to ask permission to sit or to be at. And I take that seriously because I don't want crayons and junk all over my desk. Like it upsets me. I'm like, I can't stay organized. So find a space in your home that it is yours, that you can pull your energy and your love and your creativity into. And I guarantee a lot of this is going to start to fall into place. And I guarantee you're going to feel way more productive. And what did you want to say?
It's just something perfect to go along with everything you just said. So basically, you guys, with power comes great responsibility. That's from Spider-Man. And I texted it to Brittney because she sent me a screenshot of all of the messages she was getting flooded with in Facebook. And she says, oh my gosh, I just sat down and I'm trying to hang out with Kellen. And this is what I'm responding to. And it's a slew of just bing, 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 bing. And then she's like, and then I just finished that pile of messages. And she looked in her, messages that haven't yet been accepted. And you guys, I mean, you could just keep scrolling. And so I was trying to help her answer all of those. And so I text her in a funny way. I just said, with power comes great responsibility.
It's true. And you guys, like
Spider-Man, you guys, like
Spider-Man, you got to Spider-Man, you got to get creative. But I'm telling you, you have to have that mindset before the people show up. Like 5 years ago, I didn't have an inbox full of leads coming at me. I didn't have it. And it's something I've created in the last couple of years, but I had a structure in place and I had a belief in my mind that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen to me and I was committed to doing whatever I needed to do and however I needed to grow personally in order to achieve that and to attract the right people that were going to show up in my inbox saying, I want to join you, I want to join you, I want to join you. And they are there and it floods in, but you have to be ready for it. So like Emily Vavra is a perfect example. I guarantee that she out habits most people on this line. I guarantee it. Girl gets up at 5 a.m., gets her workout in. Okay, she runs circles around me with her workouts. I don't compare myself to other people because I have 3 children. And so I'm at a different space in my life too. And so I do the best that I can every day with the current structure that I have in place in my life. But I guarantee you, Lori Harder, out habits everyone on this call. I guarantee you, Susan Sly, out habits everyone on this call. And I love what Susan teaches. You don't get your goals, you get your habits. What are your daily method of operations? I remember sitting on a training call about 6 years ago with Susan, and she was going through taxes and what she did for her taxes. And you guys, I shut down on the call. I was so overwhelmed, freaked out, afraid of success because I was like, oh, I can't handle that. Like, woo, like, you know what I mean? And did my income grow that year? No, it didn't. No, it didn't grow. Did my team grow that year? No, it didn't. It didn't grow. Was I paid as executive that year? No, I wasn't. So it just goes to show you like where my mindset was at several years ago in this process. Like I would look at some of the top leaders and I would see what is required to run a business. And it freaked me out. It freaked me out. I'm being honest with you guys, because I know there's some people on the line that are feeling that way, that are afraid of what success will bring. I do coaching calls with you guys all the time. I know that there's people that feel this way. They tell me about it. So you have to release that and step into your power and to start to design the structure of what you want to experience now, not when it happens, right now. Take responsibility in your daily life right now. What do you need to shift, let go of, release, change, whatever in order to be organized in your business, not just once in a while. Like, here's what happens too. People get all excited. They go to Staples, they get all sorts of pretty office things. They send me pictures of their whiteboard with all their new like little clips, and just fun, because it's fun to get organized in the beginning, right? It's fun to try to get organized. It's not fun to stay organized. Two different things, okay? Just like it's fun to get a gym membership, but it's not fun to show up every day. It's true, okay? So you have to move past that uncomfortability of stretching your mental muscles, your habit muscles, of I'm not going to just be organized today because I got on a training call and I got inspired and I went and got some sticky pads that were colorful and I geeked out on like organizing all that stuff for a minute, and then tomorrow I'm going to be a hot mess. Like, you can't do that. You have to do it every single day. So before I go to bed, I clean my office. So I wake up, when I come in here in the morning, it's not a disaster. Like, I don't want to come in and see my desk being a disaster. I won't be productive. So I do those things even when I'm exhausted. When I don't feel like doing it, I do it. Okay. So I think those are really important things. So write down, if you're taking notes, write down 2 things that you can shift this month. We're starting a new month tomorrow. So in the month of November, what are 2 things that you want to change in your business organization? Is it getting an appointment set up to schedule, or getting an app to schedule appointments? Excuse me, guys. I just got like the hiccups. Okay. So is it getting a planner? Is it cleaning your desk? What is it for you? And then going back, like, go back and look through your Facebook Messenger and see how you're talking to people. See how you're talking to people on text messages. Are you just talking and spreading info, or are you asking for the appointment? You have to ask for the appointment. It is so critical. I can't think of anything more critical than to growing your team than scheduling appointments. Okay. And I love, actually, Emily Barber, I've heard her say this and I love it. It's the posture that you have in your business. Don't let people waste your time. It's a posture, right? Like, you have to know that you are worthy of what you are doing and you're worthy of success. So if someone messages you, don't be like so eager, like, oh, no, yeah, oh no, 7 o'clock doesn't work for you now? Okay, no worries. Okay, what about 7:30? Like, oh, you didn't call me then? You're going to flake on me? I'm going to reach out to you again and I'm going to beg you to get on the phone with me. Like, don't do that, you guys. If someone misses an appointment with me, I give them one more chance and that's it. I'll usually send them a message. I say, I've booked out the next 15 minutes for your call. You just missed our appointment. I will be available for the next 15 minutes. Other than that, I will be booked up for the rest of the day. If you'd like to request another appointment with me, you can reschedule it below at this link. Hope everything's okay. Little heart or whatever, because you never know. It could be emergency. I want to make sure they're okay. If they don't respond, if I don't hear back from them, I never reach back out to that person. That person is no longer worthy of my time right then. Doesn't mean in a year if they contact me, hey, I'm so sorry, I had a lot going on, I'd love to reschedule a time. Great. But I'm not going to have someone keep doing it over and over and over and over again to me. I'm not going to allow it. Okay. So have a posture in your business. You are a CEO. Act like one. Show up like one every day. Okay. People will you'll change. Here's what happens when you do it. You will change the type of person you attract. It's just what will happen. You will shift the type of person. You won't get the whiny, complainy cleanser people. You won't. You won't get the people that return their products. You won't. You will get the people that go consultant right away. You will get the people that are open to business. You'll get the people that are having great product experiences. Even if they have some challenges in the beginning, they push through. You will start to attract a different quality of human when you become different yourself. So that's really what I wanted to share with you guys today. We're already at 10:30. I'd love to open up the lines. If anyone has questions or comments or anything that we talked about that you'd like to discuss, now would be the time to share. Who would like to jump out?
Just a comment. That was that last little piece you said gave me the chills, because that's definitely, it just resonates so much. Our posture, the way we carry ourselves, what we put out is what people are seeing and what they're responding to. So if we're attracting the insecure and people pleasing and, oh, okay, Janet, all right, I'm so sorry, I don't know why you're having that reaction to the and you're kind of in that mode, it takes, that person's going to constantly know they can take that of you. They can accept that. And it just made so much sense. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Who else would like to share, ask questions, comments, anything?
I have a question, Brittney.
Yes.
I reached out to a cousin of mine. So this is family. This is not friend. And I did do the, oh, sure, no problem, whatever, da-da-da. You know how it is, especially with family. And so I called her back when we had said that I was going to call her back. She goes, oh, I'm sitting down for dinner. I'll call you right back as soon as we're done. Crickets. I decided not to bother. Is that what you would do, or should I give her another chance, just like you said?
I would not contact that person until they contact you. It's your cousin. So if she reaches back out, hold on guys, Bo's up crying. Let me grab him really quick. Here, Bo. Oh, hi. If she reaches back out and says like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm still interested in Isagenix, that's fine. Be like, okay, great. I'd love to tell you more about it, but I need to know when you can absolutely commit to a time with me, because my time is really valuable. You can be direct with family. Like, you can still be nice and direct with family and say, okay, awesome. I'd love to tell you more about it. When can you commit to being on a short call with me? Because it has to be a scheduled appointment. And you just say that. So you just don't want to if people, and it might not be the right time for them. Family is, my family will do it too. They'll try to push back or call me in the middle of the day. I work from home, but it doesn't mean I'm not working. So sometimes people will just randomly show up. Not so much since we moved out of the valley, but before, people just randomly show up, come to my house. I'm like, this is my working time. I don't have time to just sit and blah, 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 So I've kind of set those boundaries with my family, but, or you just get a scheduling link and send it to your cousin when she reaches out and be like, hey, I'm ready to learn about Isagenix. Okay, awesome. Just click here. I'm booking all my appointments through this now. Thanks. That's not rude. It's just professional. So if you had a real estate business, you had a dental office, you started to have a hair salon, you wouldn't just let people randomly walk in and walk all over you. You wouldn't do it. So you just want to treat your Isagenix business the same way.
Okay.
But great question. Who else would like to share, comment?
I'll just say that I was going to say that it has gotten, when you have a lot of people, it does get really difficult to keep track of. And so this last few months, I've really been working on just my organization skills, just being more involved, really getting myself together. I can tell you the ratio of people that are now sticking on board and they're ordering more frequently, and it's just become a lot easier. And I have been using the whiteboard, which is amazing. And I'll put down when they started, when their auto ship is, when their cleanse date is, and I'm keeping people going. So it's really important, because as you go along and you're signing up so many people, it's hard to keep track of everybody. So I thought I could not be organized in the beginning, but you have to. It's just part of the game. And so that's a really great point, Britt. It's just part of it. And if you want to have success, organization comes with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm proud of you, Kim, because I've watched you transform some of that, and you have a different caliber of leaders joining you now, right? You have people that are staying in the game and showing up, because here's the thing, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, people will judge or respect you based on how you manage your time and your business. Now, they might not verbally say to you what they're thinking, but if you're all over the place, they might be thinking, well, gosh, what kind of business does she run? I don't want to sign up with her, or how is she going to show me how to make money? She can't even call me back on time, So those people might not say it directly to you, but that's what they'll think. And they'll just automatically kind of go somewhere else, and you'll lose people to other teams, other companies. It's just what will happen. So it's really important that we set that up, and that's why I want to stress, it doesn't matter if you're not cycling, 10 times a week yet, or if you're cycling once a month and you want to do this business, it doesn't matter. Set yourself up. I love Field of Dreams. Build it and you will come. And they will come. I've thought that for the last 10 years in my mind with Isagenix. Build it and they will come. Build it and I'll just keep building it. They'll show up, So it does happen. Awesome, guys. Who else would like to share?
So, Kim, do you literally call, or text your people like, oh, next Wednesday you need to cleanse, or you need to set up your next
I just started using that ISA app, the one that we talked about at the meeting, Sophia. I've been using that, and it actually tells them on, but I will check in with them the day that I know we're going to cleanse. And usually at the first time I start them, I kind of will say, like, let's cleanse together. But I check them through the whole day cleansing, check on, so that I'm like, hey, how you doing? You're almost to the end of the day. What's going on? Like, I do follow through my first week with people. I'm pretty intense with kind of following through. And then I lay low a little bit on the second week and give them a break, but I'm pretty in touch with them. Yeah.
I do it
in after and say, oh, you just woke up. How do you feel? And things like that.
Yeah. Except for their first cleanse, but I don't follow up with every of their cleanse.
No, the first one.
No, yeah.
Throughout the first 30 days, like it goes from like almost every day to down to like, I don't know, twice a week, then down to once a week, and then just checking on them.
Okay, that makes sense.
But that ISA app is awesome. It literally sends it to them. It'll show up in their text like, it's your cleanse day. It's really cool.
I need to do that. That's
really cool. It's helped me so much. I got to be honest. Like,
yeah.
The
ISA Pros app, Kim. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Every time I just signed someone up yesterday. He'll get his box tomorrow, and I will literally just put his name in, his email, everything, and he'll get welcome to Isogenics, boom. And then when it's his cleanse day, it'll say, hey, it's cleanse day. It's really awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, it's great. And the other thing too, Sophia, you can do is like, I usually set auto ship appointments with people like probably week 2 or 3, just depending on what's going on for them or me. I want to do their auto ship appointment after they've had an experience, right? So I do, a lot of times if people are available, I might do a account walkthrough right away. I pretty much have all my, ouch, hold on. Both pulling my hair. Most of my people switch over to associate within their first week to quote unquote business builder. Okay. And I show people how to do this right away because I tell them, hey, you never know what's going to happen with Isogenics. And I know you don't know what you want to do with it, but if you don't switch your account over, you won't be able to later because there is a limited time. Okay. Please don't hit me with a spoon. There is a time frame. So that's a good time to jump on the phone with somebody. The first week is to have them switch to associate. And I also tell them why it's a better benefit for them to be an associate on auto ship and stuff. So I do those account walkthroughs pretty much the first week. And then the auto ship, I'll say, we'll book another call later in the month. Once you've had your experience, we'll figure out how you want to continue if we need to update your auto ships. So I'm talking to them throughout, and we might do 2 to 3 small, 10-minute calls between their sign up date and the end of their 30 day, if that makes sense. I'm going to mute up. Anyone else want to share? I'm going to mute up because Bo's fussy.
You guys, I want to share something that's super important. It's something that I kind of learned this weekend and I realized I do it way too much. And I want to make sure that you guys don't do it and learn from me, is that I brought a couple this weekend to an event, and a girl that's been in Isogenics, and she said, because I sometimes, if people, I feel like, and I get a vibe from someone that they're not going to do their auto ship, they're going to rely on me. Instead of saying like, no, let me have you walk you through it, I end up feeling the fear of that they're not going to do it. So I do it for them myself. And I can tell you, it's such an injustice to yourself. And she even said when we were at this event, she's like, you kind of did yourself a disservice because now I don't even know how to do it. And so it's something that I am completely changing everything. Even if you feel like somebody is not going to do it, you need to figure out a way to say, hey, here's your account. Let's make sure you know how. Because otherwise, when you start signing people up, you're stuck with a lot of auto ships. So that's just a tidbit that I can give you of my mistakes that I made. And I'm 100% turning that around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's huge. Don't ever do people's auto ships ever, ever, ever. It will like destroy your life. It will take over your life and make it so. And here's what I'll share with that really quick, Kim. Is it creates a team of codependency. It doesn't create independent leaders. It creates everything is functioning off you, and you will lose your mind long term doing this if everything is just functioning about you. So anyways, does anyone else want to share? I'm going to mute out and then I'll have Em close it out because Bo's fussing.
Lana, did you have anything you wanted to share, or Suzanne? I know Suzanne couldn't have her thing on, but do you guys have anything you want to share?
I'm here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lana.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see.
Lana, hold on. Did she unmute?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Lana.
Yeah, no, with, when on the first call, because I'm having things where people don't want to get on a three-way call. So then on the call, they have a whole load of questions. So then I'm going through little things with them, and it ends up being like a 20, 30-minute long conversation because they want everything answered right there and then before they even look at anything themselves. So I was just wondering sort of what is the best way to handle that first process?
Britt, you have to unmute.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted. Is this through, are you setting an appointment first, Lana, or is this just like random conversations on chat?
Yeah, no. So we schedule a call, and they missed the first one. So then I've been giving them another chance. Let me get on the call, but they don't want a three-way call because I was planning to do some with Elaine or with whenever you had time. But they're really funny about getting on a three-way call or a video call with them. But they have so many questions, and then it ends up being, just constantly answering every question they have, rather than it's boring and then it's just.
Right. So a couple ways if they're asking you a ton of questions, one of the best things to do is ask them a question back. So if they're like, well, tell me about isogenics, like that's like a loaded question, right? Because it's such a long question. Like, okay, what do I even say? So if someone says that to me, I always throw it right back to them and I go, well, tell me about your health goals first. What would you like to shift in the next 30 days and beyond? Okay. And then I'll let them answer. And if they say, well, I'm tired, I want to lose weight, I'm having sugar cravings. Awesome. Okay. How much weight would you like to release? So I'm not doing as much talking as I am asking. So then they're going to talk about, okay, 20 pounds. Okay. What would change in your life when you release the 20 pounds? Now, what you're doing is you're getting them into their subconscious mind of how they're going to feel when they reach their goal, which is where you want them to be, because that's where people make their best decisions in terms of change. So I think if you're getting stuck explaining, you might not be asking enough questions. Go back to questions and take whatever verbiage they're saying. If they're like, well, I'm really nervous about starting something new. Okay, what are you specifically nervous about?
Yeah.
What have you done before that didn't work for you? Does that make sense? So you're going to take the conversation and you're going to take back control of it with the questions. And then you're going to find you're doing a lot less explaining about isogenics, and you're going to be getting down to their core why, their core belief system about why they can or can't do something. And you're going to have an easier time. Most of the time when you do that at the end of the call, they're going to be like, okay, well, how do I get started?
Yeah.
Let me send you some information. You can look at the packs. Now, I like people to visually look at the packs. And when I'm on a phone call, the first phone call, it's not necessarily, sorry guys, I got a phone call. It's not necessarily like you're trying to close the person on the first phone call. You're fact finding, right? You're searching for what they need and the solution that you could help provide them. Now, once you get that, now say you and I were on a phone call and I'm like, okay, I know she's stressed out. She needs energy and she wants to release 20 pounds. I'm going to say, Lana, when are you ready to get started with this program? What information can I send you so that you can make the proper decision about starting with isogenics?
Yeah.
And then you might say, well, what are the price points or whatever? Then I can send you an email with the meme. I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm going to send you an email with the different packs. Look over it. Let me know what your additional questions are, and we'll jump on another short call to get you started when you're ready. A lot of people come back. I mean, they come back when they're ready. You want those people to be ready. Okay. Does that help? Or the other thing you can do is use three-way chats on Facebook, because I know the time difference and all that stuff. So you can always plug me, Elaine, Kathy, someone else into a three-way chat and be like, hey guys, this is my friend Susie. Susie has some questions about the ingredients in the product. I know we're all busy, so I thought the chat, so we can do three-way chats too. Okay. Great question.
I had a funny lady, just interjecting real quick. I had a funny lady, and she's still on the products, but she wanted to do it that way. She wanted to do it via chat. And Brittney was like, oh my gosh, try to get her on the phone. And I tried, but she just insisted on doing it that way. So just letting you know it worked, but yeah, she's a bit checked out.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll get people, and sometimes I might be direct with people and say, you know what, this is really a phone call conversation. I can't really help you anymore on chat. Let me know when you're ready to jump on a call. Like sometimes I will say that too. It just depends on the situation. It's because some people just want to waste your time too, guys. You have to go back to your posture of my time is really important. And Lana, you can say that, hey, my time is really limited. I'm the busy mom with a special needs child, and I can't really discuss this for hours on end on chat, but I would love to set up a short phone call with you. You can do that too.
That's right.
Leave the dog alone. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump off because Bo is crazy. Thank you for being on, guys. Did everyone get to share, Em? Yeah, I can't see the screen.
I just want to say one thing before we hang up. This is Suzanne.
Yeah, go ahead, Suzanne.
I completely resonate with what Kim said, and thank you for the tip, Kim, because I am finding myself trying to keep up with people's auto shipments, and I'm so worried that they may not want certain items, and it may be an auto ship, and I may not be able to fix it before their shipment goes out. So that's really something I'm struggling with. Because I'm not taking the time to walk them through their back office to teach them how to do the auto shipment. You know what I mean? So that's something I really need to work on, because it's going to come back and haunt me, and I know it.
So, do not do people's auto ship. I will tell you, the time to walk them through the account is much less. Teach a man to fish. He'll fish for the rest of his life, right? Give him a fish, he'll eat for one day. Like, you have to do those appointments.
Would you do it after you sign them up, as you're following up the first week, or would you do it the day that you're signing them up? Because it's so overwhelming the day they sign up. There's so much information.
I would never do it the day they sign up. And so what we've been talking about is after, if you're going to help them convert to associate, you can do it that first week. If you're going to do an account walkthrough later in the month, but you verbally say it to them, like, hey, once you get your box, after a couple of days, after your first cleanse day, we'll schedule an appointment to walk through your account. Then you have to be responsible to reach back out to plan the appointment. Very rarely will they call you and be like, yeah, you didn't show me my auto ship. Like, they're busy and they don't understand it. So it's our responsibility to do that.
Yeah, I will do that a week after signups then. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay. Bye.
Bye.